Do you think you might be too ugly to be on YouTube? Well, you might be, but stick around, let's talk about it. Hey there guys, I'm Debbie. Welcome to Debbie J TV. Glad to have you guys here today. This is just another part of my series on excuses and reasons to not be on YouTube. I do want to ask something before we get started though, because I'm sort of confused. When I got thinking about this reason or excuse not to get out here on video, it dawned on me, we're all willing to go out in public every day and go around a bunch of strangers who we don't know and let them see us however we look. I know some people won't walk out the door without makeup. Some people will walk out in their pajamas and be perfectly okay with that. But if we're willing to go out around our friends, around our family, and out into public every day looking like we look, what is so scary about putting yourself out on a video in front of strangers that we will, chances are, never see again in our lives? So that was my first consideration that got me really past this who the hell cares what I look like sort of thing. I would say I'm not necessarily going to wake up in the morning and put myself on film, but I have done that. I just haven't posted it. Just learning to be comfortable in your own skin, I think. If you're willing to go out around people that you know, that you love, that you care about, if you're willing to go to work every day and meet with people in board meetings or whatever you do at work, and yet suddenly if you're going to put yourself out here on video, it becomes this big, massive, oh my gosh, I'm not a model, what am I going to do? Well, you're going to put yourself out on video. And here's something to think about, okay? We have all seen people around us that we look at and go, wow, that person is really pretty, or that man is really handsome. And we tend to, because this is what humans do, right? We go out there and we compare ourselves to those people. And the thing is, I am sure that we have all known people or met people that initially were really pretty or really handsome. And then you find out, like, because of their personality or because of the way they treat people, they're really not. They become very ugly very quickly. And I think that's the big difference, okay? And on the flip side of that, okay, and I know it sounds horrible, but we've all been judgmental at one time in our lives somewhere, okay, where you've seen people out and go, wow, maybe they could have put on a little makeup, or maybe you could have dressed a little better to come out. And yet that same person can walk up to you and be the most friendly, most outgoing, lovable, helpful, hey, can I help you to your car? And suddenly it doesn't matter, like it doesn't even cross your mind that you just had that ugly, nasty thought about somebody, that they might not be pretty enough or they might not be handsome enough. So it's, as well as I do, it's more about who you are inside and the kind of person that you are, because you can be, I'm sorry, I could have somebody completely do my makeup, send me out there looking like nobody would ever recognize me, dress me up, send me down a runway. Okay, nobody's going to send me down a runway because since I broke my ankle a while back, that's not going to happen. But I don't want to be a model, okay? I just want to be me. And if I can do anything to help you guys get comfortable with just being you, listen, we all have things that we worry about, that we look at ourselves and go, oh, okay, I don't like that about myself. That's normal. We're human beings, okay? But there's no reason to do that. When you talk about going out onto YouTube and doing videos, or even going out and doing something new that you're uncomfortable doing and you're not sure what people are going to think, remember, always keep this in mind when you get really super nervous about what other people are going to think about you. The same way that we are our own worst critics, so is everybody else. That doesn't just include you. That's not just me. That's not just you or you. Everyone does this. So while you're out there thinking about what others think about you, guess what? They're out there worried about what you think about them. We all get in our own heads. And the thing is, I don't want to see that stop you from going after what you want, from getting out here on YouTube if you want to create a channel like what I'm doing. It's like it shouldn't stop you. It shouldn't slow you down. Just get out here and do it. There are people out there that don't believe you're a model either, but they don't care. Okay, you're going to find your audience out here, okay? Some people are going to like you, some people aren't going to like you, and whether that's based on looks or not is irrelevant. You're going to have people out here just like we have out in everyday life. We go out about our lives, and there are people who don't like us. There are people who don't know us that decide they don't like us. But the other thing is, there are people out there that we meet that we decide we don't like, okay? Whether it's like, sometimes it's first impressions, sometimes it takes a couple times to figure out. But we don't like everybody, so why should we expect everybody to like us? And again, whether it's based on looks or not, it is irrelevant. What you need to do is decide what you want to go after. And I promise you, you won't like yourself on video initially. If you're still struggling with this, if you think, oh gosh, I'm not pretty enough to get out here, I'm not a model, I can't do this, I'm going to give you 5 things that I hope will help you get over that and get past it so that you can get out here and do what I'm doing. Number 1, figure out and know exactly who you are, because once you have that down, there is nothing anybody's going to be able to say or do that's going to concern you. If somebody says you're the meanest person in the world and it resonates with you and it bothers you, then there's a part of you that thinks you're mean. Okay, so you just got to get solid in who you are. Work on gaining more self-confidence. And the thing is, with something like YouTube, okay, or anything else that you've never done before, okay, gaining self-confidence just takes practice. It takes getting out there and doing things again and again and again until you get good at it. Walking is a prime example. You know what? When we were little kids, we got out there and we learned how to walk. We had all the self-confidence in the world. We just picked ourselves up and did something because nobody had ever gotten in our heads and told us that we weren't good enough to know how to walk or to learn how to walk. Okay, nobody looked at us and said, oh, you'll never walk. No, our parents laughed at us. And, if you're worried about people laughing at you, you can feel free to check out the first video that I did about people laughing. But our parents laughed at us, but they never told us that we weren't going to be able to walk. They kept encouraging us and saying, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. But again, over our lifetime, people have stomped on our self-confidence. And people are going to stomp on your dreams and stomp on what you think you can do. But it is no different than walking. It's no different than getting through the crap in high school and figuring out that, wow, I'm an adult. What you say to me can't do any harm to me anymore. And yet, that inner little voice inside of our head, the one I'm talking about, right? You go home and you're in your 20s or 30s, and suddenly you become that child in your parents' house where it's their house, their rules, and if you say something with not quite the right tone, you still might get backhanded, even though they probably wouldn't do that to you in your 20s and 30s. Although my mom would. My mom would still backhand me if she was still here. Anyway, number 3 is learn to have fun. Learn to laugh, okay? If you're not somebody who laughs at a lot of things or enjoys life, or you're worried about what people think about you, oh my gosh, there is nothing that's going to make you prettier and more handsome than somebody who laughs with other people, who has a good time, who entertains, who is able to laugh at themselves. So number 4, if you're doing a YouTube channel, if you're trying to grow it, if you're starting it like what I'm doing, okay, remember, with YouTube, it's all about the content. If your message is good, people could care less what you look like, okay? They're just going to come for the content. They're going to pay attention to what you're passionate about, what you're saying, what they're learning. They came here to learn something, not decide whether or not they want to date you. So stop worrying about that, okay? Oh, and on a side note, before I get to the 5th and final way that could help you to get past these fears about not being pretty enough to be out here on YouTube or being too ugly to be out here on YouTube, do me a favor. If you've had something that has stood in the way of you going after what you want, whether it's YouTube or anything else, reasons, fears, excuses, do me a favor, post them in the comments below, and you may get a chance to be featured on a future video in my series. I would love to be able to help you out on that. So number 5 is just be yourself. And I know that sounds super simple, but you know what? We get so used to being the mom, the sister, the daughter, the brother, the father, whatever it is that we have to be, the guy at work that can't say certain things. If you're talking about YouTube, get out here and be yourself, because who the hell else are you going to be? You know, just be the best you that you know how to be and continually improve yourself, because people will like you for who you are. You will find an audience, I promise you. There will be people that won't watch you. There will be people that are. Trust me on this. And hey guys, if you're looking for help on how to eliminate other reasons, excuses, and fears for not getting out here and doing a YouTube channel, check out the other videos in my series. I've got one on on worrying about whether people are gonna laugh at you, as well as thinking that you're not cool enough. So we're gonna post them up here. Be sure to check those out. And guys, if you want to make sure that you don't miss any of my future videos in this series on overcoming the fears and excuses and reasons not to start a YouTube channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell icon next to it. That way you'll get notified of when my new video comes out. And remember, life is short. Go out there, go after the things that you want in your life, in your business, wherever. Just go make it happen. I'll talk to you guys next time.